What is happening with Upset? Oh, excuse me, I meant Offset.
So let me tell ya about this, all right? For the past couple of months, I've been very quiet, but I've been going through a lot of stuff that I keep to myself. First thing first, this guy, right, is upset because I sent his girlfriend text messages of him begging me, saying he was gonna take away his life, begging me, saying he's gonna take away my life.
Offset is clearly not doing well right now, and things are getting seriously alarming. Cardi B is putting it all out there, saying Offset's been blowing up her phone with desperate messages telling her he can't live without her. She even claims he's gone as far as threatening to hurt himself if she doesn't leave her current situation. That's not just messy, that's dangerous. What started as just another celebrity breakup has spiraled into a dark and emotional storm. Cardi says she's been doing everything she can to stay calm and protect her peace, but Offset's mental breakdown is dragging her into chaos. And here's the wildest part. This could be just the beginning of something way deeper. Offset's public image has always swung between chill and out of control, but this time, it feels different. Way different. Just this week, Cardi shocked everybody when she jumped on X Live and dropped a bombshell. She said Offset had been sending her disturbing messages, not just begging her to take him back, but making serious threats against his own life, and even hers.
I blocked you, even though I know you was gonna go to Atlanta, and I was like, I didn't want to know what you was doing out there. I told you I blocked. You was calling me all private numbers all morning. You was calling my mama, everything.
It was a shocking move from someone who, for months, acted like he didn't care at all. He made it seem like he had checked out emotionally, like he was cool with Cardi moving on and doing her own thing. Behind the scenes, a whole different drama's been going down. And according to Cardi, this wasn't just some random emotional meltdown. She says the texts and calls from Offset didn't stop. They kept coming nonstop and obsessive. It's gone from emotional to straight up disturbing. The way he's been acting, it's clear he's not ready to let her go, even if he's too proud to admit it in public. Offset might be quiet online, but that silence, it's starting to feel like a cover-up. Not cool, not collected, just hiding something darker. And now Cardi's done staying quiet. She's airing it all out. One of the biggest shocks? Cardi says she actually reached out to Offset's rumored new girlfriend, Melanie Jada, a model who was seen living it up with him on a shopping spree in Dubai. But Cardi didn't do it out of spite. She says she forwarded those disturbing messages Offset sent her to Melanie as a wake-up call. That move lit a fire. Cardi says Offset lost his mind when he found out. And get this came just days after he allegedly sent explicit revenge materials to Stefon Diggs, who Cardi's been linked to and is now openly dating. The hypocrisy had everybody talking, but it didn't stop there. Cardi says the harassment kept going and it's been toxic. She opened up about the pattern, how Offset gets especially wild whenever she's out of town. She claims he floods her phone with voice notes packed with nasty insults, trying to tear her down and mess with her confidence. It's the kind of behavior that's got folks seriously worried about what's going on behind closed doors.
Shit. Cause you will fucking talk to a nigga and a motherfucker will play in your fucking face, over and over and over and over and over again until you be like, watch what I'm about to do. Watch what I'm about to say. And it's so fucking sad that a nigga like to... Yo, this motherfucker really likes to play games with me when I'm at my most vulnerable time, when I'm not the most confident. He likes to play games with me because he knows I'm not an easy girl. He knows yesterday I could have been out, I could have been chilling, I could have been this and that. He knows I'm in my house. He knows that I'm chilling. He knows I'm not doing the most. And I've really been sparing you. You've been fucking feeling yourself, you bitch ass nigga, because of your bitch ass album and shit. And you really been fucking doing me dirty after so many fucking years that I motherfucking helped your ass. Not even a fucking thank you that I got for your bitch ass. And it's so crazy that I gotta go to the fucking internet because whenever I tell you something, you don't take shit serious.
Cardi says some of Offset's messages weren't just emotional. They were explicit and straight up humiliating. And it wasn't about trying to talk things out, it was about breaking her down. Even worse, she claims he FaceTimed her while he was with his new girl, like he was trying to mess with her head, keep her emotionally hooked from a distance, and stir up pain on purpose. That's not heartbreak, and that's emotional control. And even though Cardi's known for being loud, fierce, and unshakable, she's sounding completely drained. She didn't sugarcoat it, she called it what it was: emotional abuse. She spoke on revenge games, obsessive voicemails, and months of mental pressure that wore her out. This ain't about petty drama anymore, and it's about personal safety, boundaries, and a woman trying to protect her peace while being yanked back into chaos. And honestly, if this sounds shocking, she did warn us. Cardi had already dropped some hints earlier this year. She accused Offset, and even his mom, of stealing from her. She didn't go deep into details, but the vibe was heavy. Something serious was definitely going down. She also aired out another painful truth. Offset, she said, had been distancing himself from their own kids. She claimed he skipped out on holidays with them while going all out for his other children, showing up and showering them with gifts. Fans were left shook, wondering, was this just bad parenting or was he purposely trying to hurt Cardi? All signs point to control. From the constant late-night texts to ghosting his own family, it's more than just emotional chaos, it's manipulation dressed up as silence. Cardi's not just dealing with a breakup, and she's dealing with psychological warfare. Fans aren't holding back. They're calling it what it is, coercive control. And honestly, it's hard to disagree. The cycle has been on repeat. Apologies, guilt trips, manipulation, and humiliation. It's the kind of toxic pattern that's got everyone alarmed. And according to people close to Cardi, this latest meltdown from Offset may have been triggered by one thing in particular, Stefon Diggs. Word is, Offset isn't just hurt that Cardi moved on, he's furious. Seeing her linked to someone like Diggs, a big-name athlete, has clearly shaken him. That's what reportedly pushed him over the edge. He's been trying to get her to cut things off with Diggs, but when that didn't work, the messages turned darker, the threats got worse, and suddenly, Offset is acting out in ways nobody's seen from him before. Sources say he's been blowing up Cardi's phone, begging for another shot, making all kinds of promises, saying he'll change, that he's a new man, that she shouldn't go through with the divorce, but Cardi's not buying it. She's seen this movie before. Back in 2020, she filed for divorce the first time, and it was over infidelity. Still, she gave him another shot. They tried to rebuild, but by last year, it was clear nothing had truly changed. Now, the issue isn't just cheating, it's his total absence, not just emotionally, but financially and as a father too. Cardi's been carrying everything on her own, and she's tired. She's done. This time, it's not about catching Offset slipping. It's about realizing he was never really there to begin with. Cardi says she's been footing the bill for everything. I'm school fees, security, childcare, the whole load. Meanwhile, Offset couldn't even bother to show up, and it's not just disappointing, it's a deep betrayal. For Cardi, that betrayal hit hard, and it looks like it was the final straw. Now things have taken a seriously disturbing turn. With Offset allegedly threatening to harm himself, the whole situation has shifted from toxic to dangerous. But Cardi, she's not budging. She's done holding on to false hope. She's not falling for any more last-minute "I'm sorry" texts or fake promises. She's made it clear, Offset hasn't changed and he's not really sorry. And she's not letting guilt or manipulation drag her back again. For Cardi, this divorce isn't just paperwork. It's survival. It's about protecting her peace, her kids, and her sanity. Offset's spiral has hit the point where the world can't just scroll past it anymore. It's not looking like heartbreak. It's looking like a man coming apart at the seams. And what triggered this latest explosion? A photo! That's right, a picture of their son Wave rocking braided hair that looked just like Stefon Diggs' style, the NFL player linked to Cardi. Something that small sent Offset over the edge. He didn't just get upset, he snapped, and he jumped on X and started throwing shade all over the timeline. Angry posts, cryptic threats. He even questioned how he was supposed to stay calm when someone was playing with his kid. In one now-deleted post, he actually wrote, "Somebody died for playing with my son." That line alone sent shockwaves. Call it the crash show, because that's exactly what Offset's going through right now. But it wasn't just about the braids. That photo of little Wave, it symbolized something deeper, a shift. Someone else stepping into a role Offset once claimed, not just as Cardi's man, but as a father figure to their son. That image hit a nerve. And when fans started reposting the now viral clip of Cardi twerking on Stefon Diggs while he playfully smacked her backside, yeah, that's when things snapped. That moment, full of fun and freedom for Cardi, seemed to break Offset. While she and Diggs looked unbothered, carefree, and full of vibe, Offset was spiraling, publicly losing control, trying to remind everybody that he still mattered in Cardi's life. But the truth? The energy has shifted and the world can feel it. Behind closed doors, things were only getting more intense. Cardi says Offset's behavior turned even more erratic. After she got more threatening texts from him, she made a bold move. She forwarded them straight to his girlfriend, Melanie Jada. Yup, the same model who was seen shopping with him in Dubai. That set him off. Offset was furious. But Cardi stood firm. Why? Because according to her, Offset had already crossed way bigger lines. She claims he sent revenge-style explicit content to Stefon Diggs in a jealous rage. That's way past petty. That's dangerous. And it didn't stop there. Cardi says every time she travels, Offset completely unravels. He reportedly floods her with voice notes, not love notes, but vicious, insulting messages meant to crush her confidence. She says he's been trying to mentally tear her down, piece by piece. This wasn't just a one-time breakdown or a bad night. Cardi says she's been dealing with months of nonstop psychological warfare, all dressed up as fake remorse. And it got darker. Way darker. In a raw and brutally honest live session on X, Cardi opened up about the emotional toll. She didn't hold back. She told fans that the marriage had drained her completely, mentally, emotionally, even physically. But the pain didn't stop and the pressure kept building. Things got so intense that Cardi admitted something chilling. In her own words, "I was going to end up going to jail because I was going to end up killing him seriously with my bare hands." That kind of honesty hit hard. Fans were stunned, not because they didn't believe her, but because the pain was that real. That moment of transparency made everything clear. What Offset's been doing isn't about heartbreak anymore. It's about control. And just when people thought maybe he'd pull back and cool off, Offset completely vanished from the internet. No post, no warning, no explanation. He deactivated both his Instagram and X accounts. Just like that, gone. That kind of move didn't look like peace. It screamed emotional distress. While he was going ghost publicly, sources say behind the scenes he's spiraling. Especially now that Cardi's bond with Stefon Diggs is growing stronger and looking more real, Offset's not just losing a relationship, he's watching a door close and it looks like it might be for good. What really left folks shook was this. Right in the middle of all this chaos, Offset had the nerve to ask for child support. Seriously? Even though Cardi's been the one covering everything. From expensive private schools to round-the-clock security, he still had the audacity to step into court asking for money? Let's break it down. Cardi's reportedly worth between $80 to $100 million. Offset, maybe $30 million on a good day? And still, he wanted more. The streets were buzzing when word got out that the court handed them joint custody but gave primary residence to Cardi, probably to keep the kids in a stable, consistent environment. But that irony hit hard. How's he gonna ask for support when by Cardi's account he's barely even there? Cardi hasn't stayed quiet either. She's been calling him out, loud and clear. She said it flat out. He's been emotionally and financially unavailable, not showing up for the kids, not showing up for their lives, not showing up for her. Meanwhile, she's out here juggling chart-topping hits, solo parenting, and a non-stop media circus. She made one thing very clear. Offset cares more about looking like a dad than actually being one. She even said, fatherhood ain't about Instagram captions and birthday shoutouts, it's about showing up. And by that standard, Offset's been missing in action over and over again. For Cardi, this marriage didn't just fall apart. It collapsed, and now she's doing what she has to. Not just for herself, but for her kids, her peace, and her sanity. Cardi opened up about all the emotional weight she carried in the marriage, trying to keep up appearances, holding it together, and protecting the kids from the dysfunction happening behind closed doors. She says she kept pretending for them, just to create a sense of normal. But now that she's free from all that pressure, she's speaking loud. She's called Offset out publicly, labeled him a deadbeat dad. And most importantly, she's reclaiming her peace and her time. But not everyone on the internet is clapping for her. The sympathy isn't unanimous. Some folks still believe Offset's spiral is coming from a place of regret, not manipulation. They say he's heartbroken, not controlling. And others are digging up old tea, questioning the timeline between Cardi and Stefon Diggs. Was there overlap? Rumors have been flying for a while. Back when Cardi was 8 months pregnant, fans were already whispering that something was brewing between her and Diggs, even before she and Offset had fully split. And when DJ Academics chimed in saying, these industry girls are paying these dudes to be with them, Diggs smashed and other rappers' girls, the fire only spread faster. If any of that is true, then maybe Offset's pain goes beyond just jealousy. Maybe it is betrayal. But even with all that on the table, most people agree. Offset's behavior has crossed the line. The threats, the online rants, the alleged revenge content, that's not heartbreak, that's coercive behavior. And now, even some of his former defenders are starting to switch sides, questioning if all this chaos was ever really about love or about control. Now, as Cardi B and Stefon Diggs keep popping up together, laughing, holding hands at events, and just vibing, Offset's name keeps trending for all the wrong reasons. He's getting dragged online with folks saying he's weaponizing mental health to try and manipulate the situation. And while nobody's denying that mental health struggles are real, people aren't buying the timing. The meltdowns always seem to hit right when Cardi starts glowing up without him. The patterns are loud. To many, this ain't about heartbreak, it's a last-ditch attempt to gain back control in a space where he no longer calls the shots. Because let's be real, Offset had plenty of chances. Cardi stayed. She forgave. She gave him more grace than most would. But now, that door looks locked, and not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. This chapter for Cardi ain't just about a new man, it's about finally putting herself and her kids first. And the internet has been sounding off. One fan posted, Offset's not hurt, he's just mad he lost control over her and doesn't know what to do. Another said, a man like that don't love nobody but himself. And somebody else came hard with, the wildest thing I've seen is sending revenge stuff to the mother of your kids. Goofy behavior at its peak. So now we gotta ask, what do you think? Is Offset really heartbroken, or is this just another messy move to try and rewrite the story now that Cardi's living her truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear everything. Smash that like button if you're here for the drama, hit subscribe for more celeb tea, and don't forget to turn those notifications on so you never miss a moment. Catch you in the next one!